Chad Daybell is guilty. All right. This is the new stream for the penalty phase. So I'm going to hide my face because I didn't finish putting my makeup on. Hopefully people will. Okay, there you are. Hey, Treva. Let me stop my camera. And then, oh my God. What? I don't even know how to feel yet. I don't even know yet. I just know it feels better than it did. All right. Yeah, gratitude. Big time. Big time. It's like as soon as she read Tylee and he was guilty, that first guilty was like, okay, okay, all right, you know, whew, that was a big one. Whew. No, I didn't feel any type of way. I didn't think, but obviously, I did. Crazy. It is a beautiful day. Praise Jesus. Yes. You found yourself here. Good. It was nerve wracking. It was. I mean, to be honest with y'all, I was really like looking forward to having a day just where I could kind of get lost and, like I usually do. I kind of just go into my either research or I just needed to get lost. I don't know how else to explain that besides that means that's time for me to reflect, like I need to do some introspection and like kind of figure it all out. But the verdict came back really quick, really quick. Barely. I barely slept. I fell asleep actually, and then right before Donna went on, I mean, we were live, right? But it was like right before she went on, it's like I woke up and then Jason was like, "Babe, the verdict's in." I was like, "Oh my God." And so I didn't quite know how I felt, you know. And I still don't. Mm. It's just so many emotions. So many emotions. Um, party time. I'm glad y'all are here. Thank you. It is a good day for justice. I wish it was a Tuesday. I wish it was a damn Tuesday. Right? Hmm. Hold on. My mom just texted me. I don't know what that means. What is VIS? Anybody know what VIS stands for? Oh, thank you, Vicky. I've learned so much from you guys too. It's a community effort, really. So I just have a microphone. That's all. Yeah. Oh, victim impact statements. Okay. Y'all, hey. Okay. Mom had texted me. Oh, well, let me. Hold on. I'm going to get. Oh my God, Nancy. Thank you. Oh, Kresha, heaven is celebrating today. You and Jason do the same. My Danny tested how happy he is. Love from us in Texas. Love you to the beach and back. That's a different one. I've never heard that one. My best friend's mom used to always say, "Love you to the end of the railroad tracks." And that's usually the one I repeat, but that's sweet. Thank you. So appreciated. Verdict in Trump's trial. Oh, wow. It is a day for justice, huh? Said it years ago, and we have an extended family in us. Aw.
I was going to say, is somebody getting in the way of our fun? Is somebody else trying to take over our good time?
Who?
No, we should pay attention. This is the very important guilty people over there in Idaho.
What?
That
I'm
I
lost.
was I was trying to be funny. She had said that a verdict
Who?
came back in that other national trial, and I
Oh,
said that another national trial. Quit trying to take the wind out of our sail over here. We've got all the tension on us. Y'all
trying to steal
stop.
Chad's thunder to a storm, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
okay,
guess
so
it
mom said I
wasn't
could
very.
say it. She said, "Oh, no, you don't have to leave. Victim impact statement and sentencing tomorrow, no time yet." And that's when I was like, "What is victim or VIS?" Anyways, and I was like, "Can I share?" And she said, "Yes." Hmm, what appointment? All right.
So tomorrow there's going to be victim impact statements. Well, he did say we're coming back to start, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, yep, that's what he said, and then that's what Judge Boyce said, and then my mom, she texts that, so yeah, I'm going with what Judge Boyce said, and then,
Well,
um,
I bet maybe they've told your mama to be prepared to do hers tomorrow.
yeah. Whew. Boy, I wish I was there for that. That is something I wish I was there for. But, I mean, it's so weird how they do this part, and, I mean, I woulda had to have been there, basically when they went into deliberation. But it was so
It's
different
like,
for Lori. It was like 2 like, okay, she was sentenced May 11th or 12th, and then her sentencing was July 31st. So that was like 2.5 months it was kinda grueling though, not even gonna lie. Um, you need
I
a
bet it.
cigarette?
I bet
Does my
it
mic run
was.
over you or something? 'Cause we always do this. We always, like, tango.
I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day about how nicely, like those two Idaho sisters seem to like banter back and forth without talking over each other. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if I was like, do they plan better? Do they just have better manners? Why the hell can they do it? I don't know. Uh, but
I mean, it
I,
could just be a delay too. I don't know.
I, I think that's what it is. I think there's a delay,
Yeah.
and I've got on a headset, so
I was wondering if that might be it too. I know that whenever somebody doesn't have a microphone, and then I asked Jason the other day, I was like, I wonder if it's because she has headphones and I have a microphone, or I mean, I don't know. I'm always trying to troubleshoot stuff, and that's just my brain. That's just how it works.
well, if I don't have the headset on, how do you keep your microphone from picking up me when I'm talking and feeding back is what the problem. Like, see, whenever if I took the headset off and I was just listening to your sound coming out of my computer, my microphone would pick it up and it would be an
It
echo. You know what
doesn't.
I'm it just
I have a Bose freaking sound bar right here, and you don't pick it up. I mean, it's blasting right into my microphone. You know. So anyway,
it's probably
all
a
right.
setting that I need to fix. It's probably
Oh
a
no,
setting
no, no.
because you would think that this is a good microphone. It's at one of those Yeti
Yeah.
Blue things,
That's what I
but
have, yeah. Look, CSI crowdsourced illumination says noise cancellation. There are some little settings you can tick, um, in StreamYard for sure that it'll tell you which ones, it says, "Do this if you're gonna be by yourself," or whatever. I don't know, I've never worn a headset. Uh, I just never have. So I really don't even know what it's like.
well, what got me started using one is because when this first all started, I was the guy that I worked with. He always wore a headset and listened to books and different stuff.
Yeah.
And so I felt like if I talked to him, I had to get him to take his headset off anyway. And so, I wanted to listen to stuff that I figured everybody, I thought it would scare everybody if I was listening to one of KJ's rants over the loud, my speakers.
Mhm.
So I started doing the headset, and plus with the Bluetooth, it kind of loosens you up to walk around the house. Because I mean, I don't have a
Yeah.
one with a microphone. If I did, I could talk walking around the house, but I can hear, like, if I go in to see about my mother and I can hear you talking, or I can hear court going on. If it stops and I don't hear anything, I know I need to get my fancy behind back in here and see what's happened. You know what I'm saying? In other words, when I'm wearing the headset, if I hear nothing at all, that's more alarming to me than if I do.
Yeah. I put guilty in the title because he's guilty. I don't know, because 'cause we're entering into the sentencing or the penalty phase.
We don't even have to say allegedly nothing no more.
No, we don't,
Oh,
right?
oh, oh, I'm going to go to the Arizona stuff and start looking for paperwork.
Oh, right.
I'm just
That's a
saying,
good
it seemed like it was not even 24 hours later they dropped it.
oh, I know, it was the same day. I really feel like it was the same day because I went live from Boise. Jason was there. I remember. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember.
But it would be in Maricopa County.
Yep, for sure. Um, Sean and Henry, I don't know, I'm doing okay. I mean, part of me really wants to be there with my parents, but then, I'm okay here too. At least I got to do this with you guys every day, Donna, moderators, just everybody, the whole community. Just over the past 5 years has been so overwhelming, but and not in a bad way. That's again, it's so crazy because I was not expecting, like, I didn't set out to, like, make a community or find, you know what I mean? Like, that was not it. So when KJ and Mr. Wayne came all the way from Tennessee to Lake Charles, Louisiana to visit, and KJ hits you with she'll hit you with some real questions, okay? And I'm like, "What?" And so she was like, "Well, you have a community and you have to show up. You have to show up for them." And I was just like, "Oh my god, what?" I never looked at it as my community. I looked at it as people who were here, and I mean, it's kind of both. I didn't realize that. It's people who want justice through understanding, basically, for Tylee, for JJ, for Charles, for Tammy, and for Joe. And so whenever she opened my eyes to that, and I was like, "Oh my god," it was just, it's beautiful. It really is. So, but I know there's a few of you in here. Oh my gosh, here, let me clear my throat real quick. There are a few of you in here that, and I mean, this is how I've been feeling as far as, okay, what now? Like, this is over, but it's not, what I mean? It's not like a finality for me. Like, I still have so much to do, I feel like. And I know that it's going to lose interest after today. It really will. It'll lose interest after today. It'll taper off big time. It did for Lori's. And I mean, it's just kind of that whole um uncertainty of the unknown. And I've spent the last 2 months for day day in, day out, for the most part, with every one of you. And I mean, now I've got to, like, kind of wean myself from that. And it's it's a little tragic. I'm not even gonna lie. So it's like so many things going on right now. I've always known that Chad was guilty. Today was just a formality. Um, it's just a formality. I don't You're right, Donna, we don't have to say allegedly anymore. Chad Daybell is a murderer. Chad Daybell is a serial killer in a sense. And he married a serial killer whose brother is a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? How grody. That's nuts. Um, Anyways, so I mean, yeah, just that in itself is so freeing. Just not having to say allegedly. I mean, I ingrained that into my vocabulary way back whenever I was like, when it flew onto my radar to be self-aware of, like, oh, you have to say this or you can get sued. Okay. And I ingrained it into my vocabulary, my everyday, but I say it all the time. Sometimes way too much. Just like just like a used core whore. Y'all, core whore is kind of like the the cozy cone. Oh my god, loin fire. Just all the gross things that we've been through. Okay? We've all just been through some really gross shit. Big time. And I will never, ever, ever credit Chad or Lori for because of what they did. It woke me up big time. I I didn't really I didn't too much look outside of my own bubble. I was not really self-aware of the world around me for sure. I was not aware of the world around me. And through my uncle being murdered, followed by months of Kylie and JJ being missing, that was that was so tragic. It was so um traumatizing. And it's just been an experience that I don't ever want anybody to ever have to go through. Um, because it shouldn't ever resort to this, ever. I would do anything to have them back. I would trade places in a heartbeat. But, that's just not how it works. So, what do you do? You I think that, you know, you accept the things. Well, I mean, here I'm kinda sound like, accept the things you cannot change. And, I just wanna have a better understanding of everything, and I think that's what I've been doing. That was my vow that I made to Uncle Charles and then Tylee and JJ, and, just I really do want everybody who's got my family's blood on their hands to be held accountable, and I don't think that's asking too much. It's really not, but with this group, it's pretty devastating. It's very disappointing for sure. It's very disappointing. Um, Again, I don't think it's, Chad and Lori or, Melanie and David. I don't think it's an or situation. It's a and. It's Chad and Lori and Alex and Melanie Gibb and David Warwick and Zelima and Alex. I mean, just all the people all the way down. They need to be held accountable. Emma, Joe, Garth, you too. Okay? You don't get to play the sympathy card. You don't get to you can't play both sides, okay? I know that's what you are used to. I feel for their journey, but I also really think it's time to have a quote unquote come to Jesus meeting. Straight up. It's time to, hey, you have to be accountable for your actions, and you can't always blame it on daddy and mommy and the whole world around you. Persecution, you know. You Joe Murray, you can't go outside and just freaking what the hell? I wonder how many terabytes Joe Murray has of everybody visiting the damn memorial fence that was ripped down off of Chad Daybell and John Pryor's property. And then thank God the neighbors across the street, Regan and Matt Price, allowed us to have a memorial there. Thank God. So, I mean, I've it's happened to me. Joseph Murray went outside, and I mean, you just kind of happen to see him, you know. I can't help that's where Chad chose to bury my family. You know what I'm saying? Chad Daybell handled 3 of my family members' remains. Think about that. He had the privilege. He had the privilege to bury JJ. He had the privilege to bury Tylee. And he also had the privilege or whatever, or the balls or the gall, I don't even know what it is, to call and act like Chad DeBall and handle my Uncle Charles's cremains. Send him back to Louisiana, right? So what the frick is that? That is so gross. He also was so okay with his wife being in Springville, Utah. He was so okay with putting her shoulder to the wheel, doing a rush funeral, a fumo funeral potato Mormon. um, he rushed hers along. He was texting Lori saying, "I'm sad, but not for the reasons everybody thinks." Like he's so damn freaking clever. He's stupid. That is one dumb dude. That is one really dumb dude. He's regressed. He never was progress. I'm just saying. Um, I think he also had the privilege of putting and honoring, or at least having his wife. At least this is how I look at Emma and Garth and all them. You know, they got to at least memorialize. They got to grieve and see the body, and we didn't get that. And it's not a I'm not mad. It's just one of those things where you're like, Chad Daybell was A-okay, always has been. Just like Lori was A-okay. Her kids were never missing to her. They weren't missing. What missing kids? It's just a custody battle, right? David, that's basically Melanie and Brandon, you know. um, but Chad Daybell was okay with, you know, keeping his name off of her gravestone, putting her all the way in Springville, Utah, far away from where he was going to be. And he was okay with the world just forgetting about her. And I see why now. I do. I didn't quite understand it before, but it has made itself oh so clear. I feel so sorry for Tammy, but I also know that she's in a better place. And, you know, I love Tammy. She's become, you know, so much a part of, I mean, she'll always be a part of the story. Always. Um, I mean, it's one of those things. And I will always honor her. Always. And a lot of you do too. You do a damn good job of honoring all of them. And I thank you for that. Tylee is whole where she's at. She is whole. JJ, he's they're all together. And I just know they're smiling down right now. And I'm glad. Now it's on to Arizona. Yeah, she don't have her damn shoulder to the wheel. Right. Yeah. Mm. Well, do they in Idaho though? Hold on. It seems like I know the answer to this already. There's a lot of things that need to change. A lot. And Bewitched is in here all the time, and she always has such great ideas about policy, laws, changes in the way we're doing things and the way we even think about things. She said something earlier, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. You know, there's so much to learn. I mean, this is a journey. It really is. But yeah, you're probably right. I don't think so. We'd have to play a recording of him crying in order for him to cry, right? Chad Daybell only cries at himself when he hears himself crying. I mean, wait, hold on, let me put that. Chad Daybell only cries, or Chad Daybell only fake cries whenever he hears himself fake crying. Like that. Oh no, I'm Chad the husband, you know. How long did that woman lay there dead? It's so gross, y'all. These people, I don't think they feel. I really don't think they're psychopaths. I'm telling you. And I think they just prey on people who I think that's how that works. I really do. I see it in Sam Ballard. I see it in all these people that I've named over the past few years. Yeah. Um they try to mock people who do have feelings, who, because it's like they're trying to blend in, but it's just to exploit. It's just to create victims. I'm just saying. Glad you're back. If everybody can hit the like button, that would help a lot too. Appreciate it. And so Donna has the court backstage, so we'll pull that up um, whenever that comes through for the next phase, right? Yes, ma'am. They do. It is. That's exactly why. It's exactly why. It's just a justification in their minds, for real. So, so in line with this opinion right here. Yes. Yep. Jamie says sexually repressed through their religion. Just saying, that's only one of the problems, right? It really is one of the problems, a major one, because it's projection all the way. The whole hey, don't think about masturbation. Don't think about um, watching pornography. But so when you tell people not, tell me not to do something, okay? I'm straight up gonna go do it. not, not like that in every sense, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, what? um, I don't know. To me, I think it's the plan. I think it's all part of the plan and all part of the victimization and abuse that goes on in these huge religious systems. And it's not just LDS, it's a lot. It's Catholic, it's all of them. Scientology, all of them. And people pay them to abuse them. It's really gross. It really is. It is, Lord Kennedy. Religion is a hell of a drug, right? Oh, wow. Yes, Maria. Narcissists hate to lose and having to be accountable for their actions. They think they did nothing wrong. Look at Ruby Frankie. Hear Jody Hildebrandt. They just think it's like a witch hunt. And I'm like, what? Well, uh, nobody was hunting witches, but if y'all gonna act like some, damn, we are. Mormon True Crime says, and sex is second only to murder and being an apostate in the line of sins, also being homosexual. But again, I really think that the ones who are pushing the whole anti whatever, I mean, just anti fill in the blank, they're the ones that are doing it. I swear. So it is the pink elephant. Yes. Yes. And against one another completely. Completely. It's like a competition, and then it's like, um, think of all the, like, the MLMs and, with the housewives being at home, and so they find a way to kinda do this to supplement an income or earn a little bit for the family, and I mean, I get that. I'm not throwing shade at that at all. It's more like, okay, but then if you're within an insulated community with the same beliefs as you, that goes to the same church as you, that I mean, there's nothing um, to cause one to have self-awareness, There's nothing to, like, be like, "Oh, maybe why is that person responding to that like they are?" And how come I'm not? And I think that's kinda not so present. Yeah, that's a good point. Mormon true crime. An insulated community that can't be questioned under any circumstances, nor can you question leaders, even if the criticism is true, right? Or like more Radio Free Mormon said, especially when the criticism is true. Yeah. Yeah. How is everybody? How are y'all feeling? Yes. 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 I was reading Tim Ballard's comment. Yeah, well, actually, I have some screenshots that my uncle Charles, his first love. Okay, she's she sent me some links or whatever that she had gotten, and it was from something I guess she had signed up to a long time ago. And let me find them in my phone so I can kind of make a comparison real quick. Whew, y'all, I can breathe. I'm not even gonna gloat about that too much because it's not very often. Okay, I've been taking a lot of screenshots apparently. Okay, here it is. And so she sent me this. She said, "I almost deleted and blocked, but wanted to let you see this first. Maybe someone is trying to raise money by using his name. This is a list I will not be on." And so she sent me, whoop, and of course it's Tim Ballard holding one of his colored children's black, he adopted two children. He's never like holding any of the other children. To me, this is how I feel about Lori. This is how I feel she treated JJ, where it's like, "Oh, hey, here, give me some sympathy." You know? That's exactly the vibe I'm getting. Because out of the two pictures that came along with this, it's Tim with one and then both of his adopted children. Anyways, and it says, "God's children are not for sale. It's our rallying cry. But the unfortunate truth is child trafficking, modern slavery, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I've been trying to stop it for years. I was a DHS special agent and undercover operator. I'm the subject of the film Sound of Freedom. I was even an advisor to President Trump. Now I am being targeted, persecution, and I need your help to clear my name." Okay, stop screwing around with people. Stop abusing people. There you go. I'll give you some advice. There are some out there who do not want people like me to shine a light on evil and take down the bad guys. This is Tim Ballard. I'm a father, husband, man of faith. Can I count on you? Uh, and so it also, I took a screenshot. Um, Hold on. Oh, this part. Okay, we're back on. Mm.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. All right, once the jurors are ready to be brought in, they can enter the courtroom, please. Yes, Your Honor. All right, please. Here's our President counter for you, Your Honor. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are back on the record on case CR 2221-1623, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell. The court notes that earlier this afternoon, the jury returned a verdict of guilty on several counts that are subject to this capital sentencing phase, including in the verdict form counts 1, count 2, count 3, count 4, count 5, and count 6 of the amended indictment. The court at this time then is going to commence with the capital sentencing phase. I'll note that in this case, the jurors have returned, including the juror alternates that are here as well, and the 12 jurors who returned the verdict. Under Idaho Code 192515, subsection 5B, the court is using the same jury to conduct this phase of sentencing also. And that statute reads that if the defendant's guilt was determined by a jury verdict, the same jury shall hear the special sentencing proceeding. So we are in that special sentencing proceeding. As I mentioned, the jurors are here and present. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for continuing your jury service. You've again been seated for your continued service in this case. And that's the matter we're taking up at this time. To give you an idea of just the schedule, the court has some preliminary instructions that are going to be read to you this afternoon. We're going to commence then with further evidence on the sentencing phase starting tomorrow morning after I read these preliminary instructions. And the court's proposal on our typical scheduled plan would be to start at 8:30. Is the state going to be ready to proceed at 8:30 with any impact statements that may be offered?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's how we'll run the scheduling at this point then, and I'll inquire as to the jurors going forward, also the scheduling we'll have during this phase of the proceedings. They don't need to be limited to the timeframes we've had throughout the trial, including, depending on how long this takes, weekends. So I am essentially leaving up to the jurors their proposed schedule within reason of when we'll work through this proceeding. So the court is going to read some preliminary instructions then to the jurors. And again, you'll receive additional jurors when you retire to deliberate on this part of the case. But for now, the court will just read these and those will be included with you later. So in this case, the defendant in this case has been convicted now of the crimes of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. We will now have a sentencing phase of the trial regarding those offenses. Additional evidence may be presented during the sentencing phase. You should also consider the evidence presented during the trial. Before the death penalty can be considered, the state must prove at least one statutory aggravating circumstance beyond a reasonable doubt. If you unanimously decide that the state has so proven one or more statutory aggravating circumstances, then you must decide whether the imposition of the death penalty would be unjust by weighing all mitigating circumstances against each proven statutory aggravating circumstance. At a separate proceeding, the court will sentence the defendant for other offenses of which you have found the defendant guilty. Instruction number 2. Your duties are to determine the facts, to apply the law set forth in my instruction to those facts, and in this way to decide the case. In so doing, you must follow my instructions regardless of your own opinion of what the law is or should be, or what either side may state the law to be. You must consider them as a whole, not picking out one and disregarding others. The order in which the instructions are given has no significance as to their relative importance. The law requires that your decision be made solely upon the evidence before you. Faithful performance by you of these duties is vital to the administration of justice. In determining the facts, you may consider only the evidence admitted during this trial and during the sentencing phase. The production of evidence in court is governed by rules of law. At times during the sentencing phase, an objection may be made to questions asked a witness or to a witness's answer or to an exhibit. This simply means I'm being asked to decide a particular rule of law. Arguments on the admissibility of evidence are designed to aid the court and not to be considered by you nor affect your deliberations. If I sustain an objection to a question or to an exhibit, the witness may not answer the question or the exhibit may not be considered. Do not attempt to guess what the answer might have been or what the exhibit might have shown. Similarly, if I tell you not to consider a particular statement or exhibit, you should put it out of your mind and not refer to it or rely on it in your later deliberations. During the sentencing phase, I may have to talk with the parties about the rules of law, which should apply in the case. Sometimes that will occur at the bench. Other times you may be excused from the courtroom so that we can discuss those matters. You are not to speculate about any such discussions. They are necessary from time to time and help the sentencing phase run more smoothly. Some of you have probably heard the terms circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, and hearsay evidence. Do not be concerned with those terms. You are to consider all the evidence admitted during the trial and during the sentencing phase. However, the law does not require you to believe all the evidence. As the sole judges of the facts, you must determine what evidence you believe and what weight you attach to it. If any evidence is admitted for a limited purpose, you are not to consider it for any other purpose. There is no magical formula by which one may evaluate testimony. You bring with you to this courtroom all the experience and background of your lives. In your everyday affairs, you determine for yourselves whom you believe, what you believe, and how much weight you attach to what you are told. The same considerations that you use in your everyday dealings in making these decisions are the considerations which you should apply in your deliberations. In deciding what you believe, do not make your decision simply because more witnesses may have testified one way than the other. Your role is to think about the testimony of each witness you hear and decide how much you believe of what the witness had to say. A witness who has special knowledge in a particular matter may give an opinion on that matter. In determining the weight to give such opinion, you should consider the qualifications and credibility of the witnesses and the reasons given for the opinion. You are not bound by such opinion. Give it the weight, if any, to which you deem it entitled. Instruction number 3. It is presumed that no statutory aggravating circumstance exists in this case. This presumption remains throughout the sentencing phase and during your deliberations. The state has the burden of proving the existence of a statutory aggravating circumstance, and that burden remains on the state throughout the sentencing phase. The defendant is not required to prove the absence of any aggravating circumstance, nor is the defendant required to produce any evidence at all. The state must prove the existence of a statutory aggravating circumstance beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt is not a mere possible or imaginary doubt. It is a doubt based on reason and common sense. It may arise from a careful and impartial consideration of all the evidence or from lack of evidence. If after considering all the evidence you have a reasonable doubt about the defendant's guilt, you must find the defendant not guilty. That in this time then concludes the initial preliminary instructions for the sentencing phase. And the court is going to be in recess then until 8:30 in the morning, when we'll commence with evidence on that phase of the trial. Before we break for the day, does the state have anything further?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defense?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll note then the jurors will remain sequestered during these proceedings, and we'll begin again tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you again for your continued service, and that will conclude our matter for today. Thank you.
All right.
Well, that was quick. Oh, I just feel so. I can see Tammy's dad right there between Rocky Wixom, who always folds his damn arms like that. You know, he's like a damn pretzel. And Ingrid, see him right there with the glasses. Wow. Okay, now there's going to be interviews outside. I betcha. Okay. I really don't know what they just said. I'll have to go back and listen to it again. But I mean, basically, what I have scrolling down here is, you know. Okay, so let's go look for some interviews. I just opened up my own chat. That's not good. Okay. Now, let me just go to YouTube. I mean, we'll just kind of see, and we'll see if there's a few interviews out there. If there are, we'll play them. But other than that, we'll go ahead and, you know, shut down to get ready for 8:30 in the morning, right? just keeps going. That'll be very powerful, y'all, to sit through that for sure. Okay. I'm looking for anybody live. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Well, hold on. All right. Let me share my. Let me go and present. Present. Okay. Oop. Okay. Let's hear me again. Oh, I was just catching up. Oh, okay. Again. Good Lord. What the hell? I swear, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have none at all, y'all. See, it keeps. Oh my God. Let go of my damn mouse. Okay. What the hell? Grabbed onto it.
Of Brandon Boudreaux as well. So there's no way, I don't think there's any way to really feel whole again after something like this happens. It's not as if, we can undo any of the harm or the feelings or anything that's happened. However, it's gratifying to have a guilty verdict, and it's gratifying to know that at the very least, Chad will spend the rest of his life in prison, or he could lose his life. The mixed feelings that I have about that, that I iterated prior to this, I think that some of it is mixed in there with that the fact that he deserves to suffer the way that his victims suffered and the way that his living victims continue to suffer. I think prison is a good place for that to happen. However, um, you know, depending on what you believe about the afterlife, there could be more for him there too if you believe in such things. But for me personally, it's having the verdict is part of the justice. Having it be so public for his sins to all be laid bare, for lack of a better term. I mean, everybody knows everything that he has said and done with relation to his wife and
Oh, yeah.
Lori's children over the past 5 years. And he doesn't get to have privacy anymore. He doesn't get to have contact with his followers. He doesn't get to have contact with Lori, as far as I know.
Hopefully they
And
charge
so
him.
all of that is
Imagine that.
good. It's good punishment for him. Is there ever enough punishment? I don't think so, for taking the lives of innocent children, especially in the manner that this was done. And that's what I keep coming back to, is that there
Mhm.
is no way to truly pay for taking the life of a child, for
Nope.
ending the life of a child, and for all of the residual victims, the living victims as well.
Residual, that's a good word.
How he manipulated his own children and manipulated his followers and manipulated his church leaders and everybody else. I mean, there's so much that we're never going to get justice for. But this is what we have, and it has to be good enough. And
Yeah.
I can
Mhm.
sleep peacefully at night knowing that Chad and Lori are behind bars, and
Oh,
that's all the influence that they get to ever have. And I
yes.
think that's what's important.
That's
Thanks,
very true.
Megan. Do you feel ready to kind of wrap it up, or do you want to take a few more questions? It's totally up to you.
Yeah, I'm happy to take more questions. When I was saying like I'm ready to be done, it's like
Oh yeah.
emotionally reinvesting in listening to the victim impact statements. That is the hardest part for me, I think. So
Yeah, buddy.
I'm glad
Okay.
I get a break before having to do that tomorrow.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks for joining us, especially noting that this is very personal and a family affair for you in some sense. Tina
In
4RL
all
writes,
senses,
question for
John.
Megan.
I'm just saying.
Considering Lori masterminded 2 previous husbands' deaths, and I
Oh,
think she's alleging or suspecting that Lori was behind the death of not just Charles, but also the husband before him. What was his name?
Joe Ryan.
And I don't think that that's confirmed, right? That's
It's
an
not
outrage.
confirmed.
Yeah. But she's saying, given that Lori Mastervine did 2 other of her husband's deaths, in her opinion, she's asking if you think Lori eventually would have had Chad murdered. And I know that's speculation. I'd be curious if you had opinion about that. And I'm also just curious to hear your thoughts on if we had to pinpoint one person as the leader,
Oh,
I know that they're
oh,
both complicit,
I want to jump
but
in,
have
so
you
I
come
don't
down
get
on
in trouble.
whether if you had to pick one person who's ultimately the most
Yeah,
responsible, have you decided whether it's
hilarious.
Chad or Lori or someone else?
Well, actually, one of your viewers reached out to me via email a couple of days ago and made the comment. I think that they made the comment on your channel at one point, but she said the rocks in her head filled the holes in his, and I think that's a very apt description. I
Yeah, it is.
think it was a combination of factors. I think that they both manipulated each other to get what each other wanted.
I think so too.
I think that Lori definitely there's a case to be made that she sought Chad out because of his writings and his claims to near-death experiences.
Quality.
And I think
Yeah.
once Chad and Lori met, that
There's
it was
the-
really I'm sorry to have to use this phrase, but the perfect storm of dysfunction and mental illness and religious hyper religiosity and manipulation and narcissism. I mean, it was just like this huge cluster that came together.
Yeah.
And so I think the two of them definitely fed off of each other. And
I'm
to
trying to
the
find a
to
way
the
to make
question
him
of whether Lori would eventually have Chad killed, Lori is a classic manipulator. He is a classic, or sorry, Lori is a classic narcissist. She has those narcissistic personality traits, and she does discard people when they've outlived their usefulness. And I watched her do it throughout her entire life. She did it to me, and I think she eventually would have done it to Chad too. And I'd be interested to know. I don't know if she's aware of the proceedings today or not, or if she's been aware of the trial. But very clearly, Chad was allowing John Pryor to throw Lori under the bus and to blame all of this on Chad and Lori and Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. And so it makes me wonder if Lori is aware of that defense, what she thinks of it, and if she believes that Chad has sort of abandoned her. And if so, would she divorce him or something like that? I don't know. It's an interesting thing to consider, but I think based on what I know about Lori, I think eventually she would have discarded Chad, and maybe she will now that she knows that he threw her under the bus. I don't know if it would have come to murder or not, because now that Alex is dead, she doesn't have anybody to do her dirty work for her. Not that she wouldn't necessarily get her hands dirty herself, because I think she does. I think she does have a murderous heart. She commented at one time that she didn't, and that's why. If you want another rabbit hole to go down, Annie Cushing has a channel here on YouTube where she's the brother of Joe Ryan. She discusses the facts of these cases, but also the circumstances surrounding her brother's death and her suspicions that Lori was involved in that as well. And there was a podcast, I think, that Lori appeared on where she recounted a meeting that she had with her bishop. And it was just after her divorce from Joe Ryan. And the circumstances of that were Lori was finished with Joe, and she accused him of SA, her two children, Tylee and Colby. And there was a whole court-reviewed process where they went through with custody evaluators and psychologists and did psych evals on everybody and found Lori's claims to be spurious. And so Lori did end up with majority custody of Tylee, and Alex was angered by all of that, and he went and found Joe Ryan and tased him in a parking lot and was arrested, tried, and convicted of that assault. And so Alex kind of has always been this protector. And there was another friend of the Cox family who claimed that Lori paid Alex to actually kill Joe Ryan. And then he does end up dead in 2018, just prior to Lori and Chad getting together and the rest of these people start dying. So the circumstances are very suspicious. Audrey Baratario testified in Lori's trial that Lori told her that Lori watched someone take their last breath. And a lot of people have speculated that that was Joseph Ryan.
It could be our kid.
That's where all of that information comes from.
Maybe.
I've gone down another rabbit hole. Sorry.
No, that's not a rabbit hole. That's what our viewers and listeners like. I'll just share some other comments. James writes, "Murder Among the Mormons" continues.
Oh, yeah.
That
Why? Because we
title was
never
used
identify it
in
right.
the Mark Hoffman documentary about known Mormon forger Mark Hoffman, who bombed a few people.
Mhm.
Marta follows up saying Megan is the best to listen to as a storyteller, and in that sense is the best guest. And she says, I have a soothing voice, so we're a good duo. I'm often told I put people to sleep, but I do agree, Megan, that we're a good team.
Only when we're tired.
So I'm really grateful you would come on and share. A Reddish writes, Lindsay Blake is the GOAT of the trial from my hometown and has done amazing work. Public servants don't often get the recognition they deserve. Megan, and by the way, folks are still saying, please like this episode.
Here, finally.
Please subscribe. Very few of you
I'm getting
of the
Megan
2,500 now that have
channel
joined
too.
have bothered to like it. That would really help.
Here's
Megan,
Megan.
what do you have thoughts on Lindsay Blake at all? I saw you nodding your head.
Well, I think Lindsay Blake is a badass. She is amazing.
Yeah.
Who is
She's
she?
smart.
Most haven't been
She's one of the prosecuting attorneys.
Okay.
And she's done a lot of the questioning, cross-examination. She is right there with her objections all the time. If you go back and listen to some of the clips of the trial, she is on the ball. She's very intelligent. She has well thought out arguments. She asks excellent questions, and she did not let John Pryor get away with anything in this case. And I was so grateful that she was there. And yeah, I think she's amazing.
Okay, let me see what else
All right.
is out there.
All right. So many other thoughts coming in.
All right.
Rebecca, hey Rebecca, we love you, Rebecca Lovelace. She has a question. Do we know if Chad was holding the calling of ward clerk when he was arrested? Do you have any idea about that, Megan?
I'm looking.
I don't know for sure. I do know that he was the ward clerk for a time, but I don't know the timing on that.
Okay.
I just want to mention too, we've got Court TV in the house. I've been on Court TV several times over the last couple of weeks during the trial, and I always appreciate their viewpoints. I've been on there with closing arguments with Vinny several times, and I appreciate the groups of people that they bring on to give very thoughtful commentary on the trial. So shout out to Court TV and Vinny's show.
Hey, Court TV, I'm actually going to be on Court TV tonight.
Oh, wow.
they emailed me like a couple hours ago. So Megan, we take turns. I tell them to contact you whenever I can be there, but you probably have appeared.
Yeah, they asked me to come on, and I had to decline. I'm sad that I had to decline tonight, but I have a bunch of personal things to take care of. So
okay, so now I hate to stop it, but I can't just sit there and play it. I feel like I've done too much already. So I don't see anybody else that's, like Nate Eaton or anything like that. Oh, wait. Here's juror number 4. No, I just went and looked in the live section. And then, I mean, I know that's not live, but let's just kind of look down here. Okay, we'll watch jury number 4, see what's up with that.
Hi, everybody. Nate Eaton. We are outside the Ada County Courthouse awaiting a verdict from the jury who has been deliberating about 5-6 hours now. You might remember Laura. I spoke with her a couple of weeks ago. You served on the Lori Vallow jury. So what is it like to be out here knowing what they're doing inside?
I've been shaking like a leaf all morning. This is torture. Yeah, it's hard not knowing what's going on. Last year we all knew what was going on, and I wasn't nervous. I mean, I was nervous to deliberate, but once we got in there and started talking, I may have paced around a little bit during deliberations, but we ate lunch before we came out to give the verdict, and it was just really relieving. We could see the media out here in front of the courthouse, and we were just kind of laughing, knowing that we knew what was going on and nobody else did. And now I'm on the other side, and I'm like, this is such torture.
Right. So you were here yesterday for closings.
Yes.
And what did you think of those closing arguments?
I thought Lindsay Blake did an amazing job. She really laid it out and really summarized everything well for the
Yes.
jury to go back and discuss. And then, yeah, I mean, John Pryor did his thing. You know, I disagree with every single thing that he said, and I think that
Yes.
he twisted some truths.
Oh, yeah.
But he gave a defense, and obviously that's what we want. And you know, on appeals, he can't say, "Well, I didn't have a defense," and John Pryor didn't do his job, because he did.
And you mentioned when we chatted a couple of weeks ago that you wanted that defense in Lori's case.
Mm-hmm.
You had said you were waiting for that, and you were angry when they didn't have a defense.
Yeah.
So as much as people might bash the defense for whatever they might say, as you just mentioned,
Yep.
it's at least it's there.
Yep. And it gave the jury something to think about, other than just, I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that she was guilty by the end of it. But, you know, I would have liked to have heard her side. I know she doesn't have to give her side, but I wanted something. Why? I still feel like I want to know why. Why would you do this?
Yeah. A lot of people might, look at a jury, for those of us that haven't served on one, and be like, you've got these 12 strangers thrown together in a mix. You never know what's going to happen. You had told me that you had a good jury. You liked your jury. You guys, I mean, came out with the verdict and nobody was bleeding or no issues like that. What can you say, if you want to say anything to the public, about what we should know about what's happening with the deliberations, with the jury? Is there anything that you would share?
Well, they have a lot of instructions to go through, and that does take time. Whether you feel like she's guilty or not, you have a responsibility as a juror, and you can feel the weight on your shoulders going through all those instructions. I mean, they had 41 instructions, and underneath the 41 isn't just one thing. There's multiple items below each instruction. And so we were not attorneys, so we needed to go through each one of those and discuss them. So it takes time.
And now there's 42 instructions after this morning.
Oh, right.
Because the jury came back with a question, and there was a little bit of, not panic, but a buzz when they came in and said, we're going to hold a hearing. There's a question. Then all of us had to leave, and then we got back in. And basically on count 6, the jury wanted to know if the elements that were contained within the charge had not been listed out. It seemed like it was just kind of an oversight on behalf of the court. So they listed that out, but that shows these jurors are reading those instructions. As you mentioned, you have to.
Yep. And that's so good. I'm glad to hear that. Although it's torture out here on this side, it's good to hear that they're doing that. And it doesn't mean anything. Nobody should jump to any conclusions one way or the other.
Okay.
Real quick, what's been the reaction since we last spoke?
Ooh. Okay. I gotta shut this one up. Oh, damn. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. I was like, what? Oh. Yeah, it felt so awkward, but good to like walk out of here last year. Totes. Well, damn it. All right, we're finally at 1080. Let's do some 1080. There. Get that good quality. All right, well, this is boring. It's going to make me want to go to the bathroom. Oh, wow. Yay. Ooh. Wrong thing. Wow, look at them all go. Oh. Wow. There seem to be a lot more people at Lori's for some reason. Dance party. Y'all, if I would still be the size I was before all this shit happened, I'd have twerked. I'm just kidding. Thank God I was not the weight I was. That's my life the last 5 years. The revolving doors right there. Orbit. Round and round we go. Where we stop, no one knows. Anyways. Oh, it's nice to have my shoulders back up to where they're supposed to be, kind of. Not like Chad's. So, yeah, big weight has been lifted. Not the twerking. Oh, Lord. Right. Can you imagine? Uh-oh. I'm not doing that. So, Nate's doing that. Or Donna's doing that. Oh, Donna's doing that. Okay. I got it now. Wow. There's Megan Music in the plaid. I'm so glad. Just for my parents, man. God. He did the same thing Lori did. Holy shit. I gotta make a damn slideshow. Wow. He made the same damn face that Lori did. And I just took it out of my photos. I've been having it forever. Oh no, here it is. Look. Boom. Okay. Can you turn it back to that one? Yeah. Now look. Boom. Boom. I close my eyes. I'm not in my portal anymore. I must portal back. I'm just kidding. I mean, whatever. Oh, wow. That is crazy. Mm, Sling blade. Murderer. Murderer. Fornicator. Thief. Liar. Cheater. Blasphemer. I know I'm not saying that right, but wow. He was standing up with his eyes closed and sitting down with his eyes closed. Oh, that is whoever dressed him today and John, y'all need to go change. Shoulda wore your murder tie. That's nuts. And creepy and spooky. That's what comes to my mind. Oh, the knife stands alone. The knife stands alone. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't sing, but oh, he can't even zap himself into his portal right now. He can't remote view. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so very much. Oh my gosh, I just wanna go make thumbnails now. Some side-by-side pictures. Wow. Oh my god, I can't believe we got here. I can't believe we got here today. Really can't. Oh, thank you, Donna. I just saw the links you sent back here. Thank you. Okay, you sent me the pic. Okay. Wow. I'm slow. Hmm. This is nuts. Again, I wonder when they're gonna come out. I wonder what they're doing. Mommy. That's what I wanna say. There's Nate. He's about to go to CrimeCon and interview Summer Cox Shiflett. So get ready for everybody to, be all crazy about that. Hmm. I hear some people talking. I mean, last year there were like tents, it was tent city, all right, set up. And just, I want to thank y'all again for being here. I mean, whether you just found the channel or, oh my God. Oh, all right. Yay. Let me take this banner down. Oh, I'm so glad. She looks good in green. It's so bright over there. Really. Okay. Let me remove myself.
1 year later. 1 year. A guilty verdict. It's not over. We're able to breathe. It's a sad day. JJ would have been 12 years old, guys. For what? For what? What has been accomplished by the murder of Charles, a good man, a wonderful man, a great father? Tylee, a young lady that had everything in her life ahead of her. She was beautiful, witty, amazing, intelligent. My little man, Canaan, Todd Trahan, Joshua Jackson Vallow, a 7-year-old autistic child. For what? What did they accomplish? Nothing. What did they do? They destroyed families. Tammy. What did they do? They destroyed a mind that was developing minds, the wonderful minds of children. She loved what she was doing. It's obviously she loved her family. For what? And I'm not going to even put up the 3 words that the prosecution put on the screens because it's an insult to all of them. I don't even want to say them. But what Chad and Lori can't take from us is our memories. They can't take that. They can't destroy it. They can't erase it. Our memories are what we have. That's what we have left, our memories. Our pictures will fade somewhat. Our memories will fade a little bit. But I think through it all, we will all retain the wonderful memories of what we had and what we lost. I'm happy it's over. And it's 99.9% over. There's one stage left. And I will say this, whatever verdict, whatever sentence the court and the jurors decide on, I will absolutely live with it. I want to thank the jurors. I hope they get help if they need it. They've heard and they've seen things that they can't unhear and they can't unsee. I've seen the photographs. I had to put my hands on JJ in those photographs. I put my hands on Tammy's arms in those were made by these. It was not books. It was not falling down. I seen them. I studied them. Tammy, I hope you're teaching kindergarten. I hope you're providing wonderful books to the children. JJ, you're 12 years old. JJ, Papa loves you. JJ, I miss you. But JJ, I will see you one day. Tylee, I hope you have grown to be a beautiful woman. I hope you get and you make everything you wanted to be of yourself. The Lord is with y'all. He is protecting y'all. Judge Boyce, I can't imagine a finer judge to be before in this case than Judge Boyce. I don't think there's one appealable speck of evidence. Prosecution done a mighty job. One piece at a time. They laid the foundation. They spoke well. They spoke clearly. Thank y'all. Mr. Pryor, I want to thank you. I thought you did an admirable job. You had a job to do. I told you years ago, I wanted you to do the best you could. I told all the defense attorneys, do the best you can. That's all we ask. Do the best for your clients. One of the last things, I want to thank the media. The media has been amazing. No one in the media, almost no one in the media, has been out of place. A couple that were a little bit out of place, they're not here. This is not what this is about. The media is here to produce a product that justifies everybody. The media has done an outstanding job. I want to thank every one of you. Lastly, the audience that has been here months, day in, day out, away from their home, some away from their children. They go home, and I hope every one of these gentlemen and ladies that have children, you go home, you hug your children. Take lots of photographs. If I had a do-over for the last 5 years, I'd have taken 1 million photographs. Nobody ever anticipates that we're going to lose somebody. Nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. We all know that. Nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. Hug who you want to hug. Tell who you want to tell you love them. Tell them that. Be honest. Just be truthful. And most of all, guys, let's just do the right things. If you see something that's not right, say something. Don't be afraid to speak up. Let's be kind to the people that surround us. Let's be loving to the people that love us. Thank y'all. And turn out the lights. The party's over. Questions? 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 I forgot to breathe. I did. I realized that I wasn't breathing. I had quit breathing. And I said to myself, you got to breathe. Our wonderful friend Lauren said, do your deep breathing exercise. I did. That's where I forgot to breathe. I was praying. I was praying for a just verdict, and we got it.
Larry, what did you think of Chad Daybell's lack of emotion, lack of reaction in Southeast Coast?
I think it's Chad. I think it's how he deals with his issues. I feel sorry that he can't cry. I feel sorry for him that he can't show emotion. As y'all all know, there's not one person here in this wonderful crew of people that we have called family that I don't want a hug. I don't offer a hug. I don't offer a handshake. It's sad when you can't do that. For what? I think if he'd have learned to have done that, maybe none of this would have happened. Show emotion. Tell people you love them. Don't be afraid to not to. One of the last things I want to tell you, we would have never made this without each other. I want y'all to know this is the strongest lady on earth. One of these days she's going to cry. She hadn't done it in a long time. It's over with. We're going to go back home to Louisiana in the near future. We're going to take our time getting there because we need to stop and smell some roses for a while. We need a chance to look at this beautiful state, this beautiful country, the states that are in between here and Louisiana.
Are you going to celebrate tonight? You want dinner?
Are we?
I don't know. We haven't made decision yet.
Oh, okay. She's a boss. I just talk and show up. Yes. Somewhere. Where do I know? When do I know? No. Like I said, Kate just says, "Hey, let's go here." I said, "Okay, let's go." There's some people that I'd like to call out. Lauren, you and Dr. John, I don't know what we'd have done without you. My little man Banks, he made my heart heal. I love him so much. I look out here and I'm amazed that y'all are willing to stand up out in the sun and let this old man talk and not say, that's enough. Y'all shut up. Shut up, old man. But I thank every one of y'all. There's so many that I want to call out. So many friends we've made. They're not friends. Y'all aren't friends anymore. Y'all are our family. And if you ever come to South Louisiana, Shy, I'm going to feed you some crawfish and some etouffee. Thank y'all so much. Have a good time.
Okay. All righty. It's over. Weird. All right. I don't know. Just thinking. Yeah. Ah, God dang,
Sorry.
that scared me. Whew.
I'm
It's
a-
just
I'm,
remarkable.
I'm just like a dang a big dog.
That and I had speakers up, so it scared me.
So in the morning at 8:30, we started getting. See, you know, it's so funny. Your mother was right. You know, you said, "Mama sent me this message." Your
Yeah.
mama knew it. She knows what's going on.
Yep. Yep. Anyways, yeah, thank y'all for being here. And we'll see you in the morning. Alrighty. Okay. Let's see. Let me get back over there. Thank y'all for being here. Seriously. And thank you for everyone who has supported me and mostly my family, the victims that are at the heart of this matter, always and always will be. We have to keep the lights on. So, because we got to go, flush out the dark. So, I'm game. I mean, I made a vow, so I can't quit. I can't. I just can't. So, and so also thank you for those. I need to compile a little list or get it together and thank everybody who has donated through PayPal, Venmo, and other, those platforms, as well as the super chat, super sticker, and memberships, right? Memberships have their privilege, has its privileges. Haha. Anyways, but yeah, thank y'all for just really seeing this through, and I really do appreciate you. And the rest is smooth sailing as far as Idaho goes. So, all right, justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins, and it definitely shows today. You're proof of that too.